So selling on eBay obviously has its upsides, but it also has its downsides. And as one commenter put it, it has a lot more downsides than upsides. But we're going to discuss that and whether that's actually true or not in today's video. Now, I don't normally get hung up on a comment, but this guy seemed pretty adamant to say that eBay wasn't the best option for reselling, and he even so went as far as to say his flea markets are a better option. So we're going to touch on that comment, but first we got a couple things that we're actually going to grab and get shipped out before we get in trouble from eBay. So let's do that, and then we'll get into all these subjects. All right, first item we're going to grab is a pair of buoyancy shorts, whatever the heck those are. I think they're like for diving or swimming or something. I don't know. Here in the garage, I know exactly where they are. I didn't even have to look at the inventory thing. These were bought in a recent video. They're back here on the shelf. That's another one of our super organized inventory shelves. So anyway, while I'm out here, I'm also going to grab the Darth Maul plush. He's also this. We'll talk about this. That was crazy. Okay, so these buoyancy shorts. Again, we picked these up in a video. I think I actually lost the footage to that. But these were $3. We picked them up at a garage sale. I saw originally some comps for 40 to 45-ish dollars used. I didn't realize that these are women's mediums, which apparently knocks the price down a lot. Anyway, I took an offer, 20 bucks still. They paid shipping. I think I'm actually going to make a little bit on the shipping as well. But 20 or 3 into $20, I'll take that all day long. So let me get these packaged up and shipped off really quick. Now I think it's time that we get into the comment. I'm going to put it up on the screen so you guys can see it. I'll put it right here for you guys. I'm going to read it off my phone. It says, this is at Bouncers. I'm not going to give out the full name. If you guys want to, go back in the other videos. You guys can check it out. But the comment says, the easiest way to make money is to go to flea markets. eBay has proven itself full of liars and scammers, and eBay backs the lying buyers and not sellers. Not to mention the ridiculous fees and the ridiculous postage and handling time. There's a lot there to cover. That sounds like somebody's been burnt by eBay once or twice. But let's break this down little by little. We're not just going to take the whole bite at once. We're going to break down each little part of this. First thing I want to touch on here, we're not necessarily going to go in order, but is the shipping and handling thing. If you're bringing up shipping and handling as an issue with selling on eBay, then you probably know that you have a weak argument to begin with. So we're just going to kind of glaze by that one. That's just part of the game, is shipping and handling. It's pretty straightforward once you get the hang of it. It can be a little frustrating to figure out, but I would say after 2 weeks, after that, it's a breeze. It's super easy. Now I actually do mostly flat rate shipping. Not flat rate boxes, but like I charge a flat rate shipping fee on a lot of stuff. It just kind of clears everything up. So eBay shipping and handling stuff, I don't know where that comment came from. I think he just kind of threw it in there at the end as another point to his argument, but that's a moot point as far as I'm concerned. For myself, I always look at my time as being valuable. I know I'm a small reseller. I don't do it full time. I understand all that, but my time is still worth money to me. I got a family. I got a full-time 50-hour-a-week job. So my time in a lot of ways is more valuable than other resellers. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you part-time resellers can agree with that. The time that I put into this reselling thing has to be spent wisely. And I just personally don't see that in flea markets as being more profitable. Maybe, I don't even know if I could say it's more simple or easier in any way, shape, or form. I think the eBay method is kind of the way to go. Now, I will preface all of this by saying I've never personally sold at a flea market. I grew up going to flea markets, buying from flea markets. I still go to them from time to time, but I know the work that's involved. I know people that have sold. Again, I've gone to them my whole life, so I know exactly just by talking to some of those people. It's a ton of work going to flea markets. It's loading up, it's getting there early, it's setting up, it's taking offers on most absolutely everything. It's making less money, but my opinions aren't the only one that matters. So I was actually going to share with you guys a couple of the comments. So one of the comments that I actually got, which I thought was really good, this is one of the level-headed people. I will say this, and again, if you're a part of that group and you're watching this, thank you for keeping it civil. People didn't really lose their minds. There was obviously people that are very opinionated. I'm one of those people. But this individual, Troy Shockley, hope I can share your name, hope that's okay. It says, I have a booth in addition to eBay. Different things sell at different price points in each place. I think it's best to use one to complement the other, which I don't disagree with at all. There's some stuff that you're not going to be able to sell at a flea market that you're going to sell quick on eBay, and vice versa. There's just some stuff that sells at one or the other. If you're going to have both, make them complement each other. Ultimately, if fees are too high, this is the comment again, if the fees are too high to make a profit, you're paying too much for your items in the first place. You're paying to play in eBay sandbox, and they have a worldwide reach. The fees are worth what we get from them despite the eBay issues. One thing in that comment that I could not agree with more is if you're complaining about eBay fees when they are giving us an entire market of hundreds of millions of users and eyeballs on our stuff, if you're complaining about fees, you're either just grumpy or you've overpaid for your inventory. That is a big issue with a lot of people. They overpay for their inventory, then they complain that eBay's taking too much of the cut. You have to do it in what I call the eBay way. The eBay way is simple. It's good products, it's good photos, and it's good customer service. If you do those three things, eBay, I promise you, will make you money. And if you're buying good products, you're spending good money on them. Sometimes a good product is just too much money for you to buy, and that's perfectly fine. A good product is a good product that you get for a good price so that you can make your money. And if you're complaining about fees, it's probably because you're overspending on your inventory to sell. Got to go grab a bag for the next item that we're going to ship, which we're going to talk about here in just a second. We are going to talk about the scam thing, but we're going to cover that at the end because I think that's going to cover the majority of our time. But let me grab this bag really quick, and then we are going to discuss the thought that this guy had that eBay doesn't take care of sellers at all. So let's grab this, and then we'll go back over there. Okay, got my bag, and now we're back over in our little corner so we can discuss a little bit more. The girls just got home, so if you hear them in the background, that's them, okay? This guy mentioned, I keep saying this guy, whoever, guy, girl, you guys know what I mean. The commenter that this whole video is about mentioned eBay only caring about the lying scammers and the customer and not taking care of the seller. Couple points. First point being this: the customer is kind of important. That's the one that's ultimately getting the product, and without the customer, none of us make money. So yeah, taking care of the customer and keeping them happy, keeping them coming back, it doesn't just benefit eBay, it benefits all of us. So saying that they care more for the customer than they do the seller, I get what you're getting at, but at the same time, the whole business model is to take care of the customer and to keep them happy. Now, the point of not taking care of sellers, I don't think that could be further from the truth. I will be the first person to tell you that eBay does have its issues. I have had issues with eBay as far as the seller goes, but they always resolve those in a way that's fairly quick and usually good for all parties involved. I'm not saying there's not the one-off. I'm not saying I personally haven't had issues with eBay and selling on there. But for the most part, they do a pretty darn good job of taking care of their sellers. Just recently, as a matter of fact, maybe a month ago, I don't even know if it was a full month, I had sold something on eBay using the international program. And actually, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna throw that up there. I'm gonna throw you the picture of eBay's response. I had sold some Oakleys, right? I had bought them at a garage sale for $2, brought them home, didn't realize that they were actually some rare version that's discontinued. And so I threw them up on eBay for $150, got a $140 offer from somebody overseas. I don't know exactly where, I forget. Anyway, they returned them saying that they didn't like how they fit their face. No big deal. I literally said that's not a big deal. I was just gonna go ahead, I told them to open the return. Simple as that. eBay sent me this in response. Joshua, we're contacting you about the return request your buyer opened. This order was sent through the eBay International Shipping, so we handled the return on your behalf. You don't need to take any action, and you won't be charged for this refund. $140 eBay is allowing me to keep so that they can keep the customer happy, keep me happy, keep people coming back. I'd say that's taking care of a seller pretty well. So needless to say, I can't agree with the idea that eBay does not take care of its sellers. I know there is issues, I will give you that, but the majority of the time, I personally have been taken care of, and I'm a small reseller. So what's the next topic? Last thing that we got to discuss is this idea that there's scammers all over eBay. And I will say this, there are scammers on eBay. There's scammers everywhere. But we'll get to that in just a minute. First off, I'm going to ship out this next item. If you know me and you know my family, we're huge nerds. We're huge Star Wars people. This is like my favorite Sith Lord of all time, Darth Maul. We actually picked him up at a garage sale. Girls, how much did we get him for? $1. The girls are sitting at my feet now for the rest of this video. So we picked him up for $1 at a garage sale recently. And I planned on keeping him. I was like, he's super cool. Look at him. Well, the eBay seller and me got the best of me. I looked him up. Turns out he's actually one of the Disney Parks ones. Who knew, right? So I threw him up literally yesterday on eBay for $40. And in 12 hours, I got a $32 offer plus shipping. Of course, I'm going to take that. $1 into 32. So we had him for a couple weeks and now he's going. But that's perfectly fine. $1 into 32, I'll take that any day of the week. I'm going to get him shipped out and then we will talk about the scammers on eBay. Hey, you want to hand me a card there so I can throw it in here? Drop it in there. We put a card in everything. How much does it weigh, Ray Ray? 3 ounces? Nice, that's a good one. Oops, look how crooked that came out. Looks like crap. Oh well, it'll still scan, it'll still go. Anyway, $4 going to California. So that's, anytime you're shipping something across country and it's only $4, you're winning somewhere. That's taken care of, and now it's time to get on to the topic at hand, which is the scammers on eBay. But before we get into that, let me know in the comments down below if you guys enjoy this kind of content. Do you enjoy the whole talk of the eBay world and the reselling world in general, or do you just like the buying and reselling part of it? Let me know down below, and if you guys have any other topics that you want to discuss, also leave those down there. You guys can hit me up as always on Instagram and Facebook at Squirrely Resell. And if you guys are enjoying this video and you are enjoying the content, I'd appreciate if you would go down there and you would smash the like button and if you would subscribe. It's perfectly free for you guys, but it helps our small channel a lot and it helps us get out more videos just like this one. So let's just start with the comments. The comment that I liked the most, I'm actually going to put it on the screen for you guys, was Jess Oman was the name. I hope I pronounced that correctly. It says, I find it hilarious when people say eBay is too scammy, as if scammers aren't everywhere else. And then he goes to talk about how he catches scammers trying to steal from his garage sale every time he has a garage sale. And that also goes with flea markets. And he says, just because there are low fees or no fees doesn't mean that it's the most profitable method. And I could not agree with that more. I get the idea that eBay has fees and that it's expensive and that there's scammers and there's all of this stuff that's negatives on eBay. But I have to keep coming back to the fact that there are hundreds of millions of eyeballs on our products. Are there scammers on eBay? For new sellers, yes. I will say if you are a new seller on eBay, you are probably going to run into a scammer. They like to feed on those brand new accounts, but usually eBay is really good about like letting you know, hey, do not sell to this individual. They have a compromised account. And when you see that, just take it for what it's worth and don't sell to that individual. Go ahead and block them if you can. There are scammers. There's scammers, just like that comment said, everywhere in life. There's going to be scammers. Recently, I actually had an issue. I was selling my old iPhone. I bought this iPhone, I don't know, 3 weeks ago or so, and I was going to sell my old one. So I put the iPhone out there. I started getting messages galore. Oh, will you ship it here? Will you ship it here? I can pay you off eBay. I can give you $50 more. The stuff exists. It really does. You just have to be smart about what you're doing. And typically, if you do end up getting scammed, you can just message eBay and they're going to take care of you. That goes back to the point that we made a little bit ago. So yeah, scammers are out there. And yes, they do take advantage of people. But that shouldn't keep you from selling on eBay because those scammers are so low. They are so few. Now, the best way to avoid a scammer on eBay is to simply just use your gut. If you think it might not be legitimate, then don't give them your information. You don't have to sell to anybody. That's not the model. If somebody buys from you and you think that there's an issue with that purchase, message eBay. They'll take care of you. I promise they will take care of you. And if they don't, tag me. And I'm curious. Maybe I'll make another video about it. Guys, you cannot let that fear keep you from the potential profit that you can make on eBay. Again, not dogging on the flea markets, not dogging on the garage sale people, not dogging on whatnot, but eBay is king. eBay is currently king, and it doesn't look like it's going anywhere anytime soon. Now, this commenter, I don't think doesn't sell on eBay because they really are terrified of scammers. I think they probably got burned once, maybe twice, and then they were done. But that just means they couldn't cut it as far as I'm concerned. eBay is the absolute best way to make the most money. Maybe you can flip stuff a little bit faster sometimes at a flea market, but for the time, the effort, and the energy, I think eBay will be the top of the food chain for quite some time. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm the smartest guy in the world. I try to be smart with our money. My wife's really the money individual. But I wouldn't be doing this with 3 daughters and a house and a full-time job if I thought that there was a great chance that I was going to lose a ton of money from scammers. I just don't think it's as big of a deal as people make it out to be. This individual is very upset for some reason on my video. I think the comment that I made during that video was, hey man, eBay is the best way that I can find to make quick money and a good side income for what I know that I'm good at. And apparently he took it upon himself to say, nope, it's not. Flea markets are better. Anyway, I digress. All that to say, don't let the fears of other people or some of these horror stories that you hear keep you from dipping your toe in the water a little bit. Find something that's a good product, take good pictures, and have good customer service. eBay will take care of you, and you're not going to find the scammers like you think you are. Contrary, I think you might actually find that you kind of enjoy selling on eBay. That's what I did. I started selling. I've sold a few things on eBay in the past, but really started going heavy into it January of 2023. And I threw an old game system that I hadn't used in months on there. And when I got the cha-ching for $200 within like an hour, I was like, holy cow, I can get used to this. So yeah, just go ahead and dip your toe in the water. Something that you don't mind getting rid of around your house. Just start there, and the shipping stuff will take care of itself. eBay customer service is great. Great. You know what I mean? And scammers aren't really as big a deal as you think they are. So stay tuned, because this room that we're actually in right here is going to be a big part of the next video. So we appreciate you guys watching, and we hope to see you guys on the next one.